If you'd like to make something really nice to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival but don't have much time, think about SNOWSKIN mooncakes. The soft, tender and chewy skin makes this cake special and nutritive. And as there's no baking involved, it's very easy and fast to make this cake. The mooncake that I'd like to share the recipe with you today has a traditional skin dough and green tea filling. Please read the caption below for more information on the ingredients and some tips for success. We start with making the simple syrup. Add into a pan 250 g of sugar and 250 g of hot water. Stir well to help the sugar dissolve in the water. Bring the water to a boil on high heat. When small bubbles start to appear, add cream of tartar. Wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. When the syrup comes to a hot boil and looks clear, remove the pan from heat. Put the syrup into a clean bowl and let it cool down completely. The next step is to prepare the filling. For this filling, we need 100 g of yellow beans. Wash these beans carefully under running water, then add all of them to a pan, together with 130 ml hot water. Let the beans soak for about 1 hour and a half. After soaking the beans, add to the pan 45 g of sugar and some more hot water. Cook the beans on high heat. When the water starts to boil, reduce the heat to medium-low and continue to cook. Stir it regularly and, if necessary, add more water to the pan. When the beans are very soft and tender, remove from heat and let them cool down. Process the beans with water so that they turn into a very fine and smooth puree. Run this puree through a sieve to remove any lumps. Turn the heat to medium and add half of the amount of oil into the pan. Stir until everything is combined. Then continue with the last half of the oil. Keep stirring constantly to help the water evaporate. The filling gets thickened in about 10 to 15 minutes. Mix 5 g flour with 2 g green tea powder. Add some water and stir well until all of the flour dissolves in the water. Next, add this flour mixture into the pan little by little. Mix well and make sure everything is incorporated before you add the next portion of green tea water. Reduce the heat to low and continue stirring and folding until the filling turns very thick and can hold its shape when we fold it. When the filling is ready, remove it from heat and let it cool down. We should have between 270 and 285 grams of filling. When the filling is lukewarm, shape them into small balls. Each ball is about 60 grams. Wrap these balls carefully so that they will not dry up while we prepare the skin dough. Now it's time to make the dough. Add into a large bowl 400 grams of simple syrup and half a teaspoon of pomelo essence. We also need 200 grams of cooked glutinous rice flour. This flour is already cooked and ready to eat. With a whisk, keep stirring the syrup while adding in the flour 1 tablespoon at a time. Make sure that everything is incorporated before adding the next spoon of flour. As more flour is added, the dough gets thicker and thicker. When the dough is quite thick, change into a spatula. The spatula will help you to handle the dough more easily. Continue adding flour until we have used up about 2/3 of the flour, which is about 140 grams. The dough at this time might be quite thick and stiff, but still very wet and sticky. Sprinkle about 30 grams flour onto the working surface. Put the dough onto the counter. Use about 1 more tablespoon of flour to cover the surface of the dough. Let the dough rest for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, go wash your hands carefully because we're going to use them in the next stage. Now after the dough has rested, start to knead it lightly. Use the flour on the surface to prevent the dough sticking to your hands. As you knead the dough, the flour on the surface will be absorbed into the dough, and because of this, the dough will get firmer and firmer. When most of the flour has been absorbed in the dough and we have a very smooth dough, which does not stick to your hands anymore, the dough is ready. Divide the dough into small pieces, each piece is about 110 grams. Cover the dough that you don't use yet so that they will not get dry. Use the palm of your hand, flatten the dough into a thin disc. Stretch this dough and make sure that the edge is thinner than the center of the dough. Then get a piece of filling, put it into the center of the dough and wrap it up. Seal carefully. Use more flour if the dough sticks to your hands. Prepare the mold for this cake. Roll the cake ball on the surface to cover it with some dry flour. This helps the cake not stick to the mold. Add the cake into the mold, seamed side up. Use the palm of your hand to press evenly on the center and around the edge so that the cake fits well in the mold. When ready, lightly knock the mold onto the counter to remove the cake. Or you can also open the mold like this. After molding all of the cakes, cover them with cling film and let them sit at room temperature. These mooncakes improve over time and taste best after 1 or 2 days. You can also keep these cakes at room temperature for up to 5 days. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoy it and see you next time. Goodbye.